Hey, I'm Daryll.
And I'm Greg.
We're on a journey on
the long and winding road
to share with you the glorious gift of
music.
We've had the privilege of making a lot of friends, and now we finally have the chance to sit down and have a conversation about their
long and winding road
and share with us the glorious gift of their
music.
So,
relax and rewind it back.
Yeah!
On that note,
here's On That Note with Daryll
and Greg.
Hey guys. It's a bit of a sad situation on that note, because this is our last show with the guests.
Damn.
And yeah,
it's been 26 weeks.
26 amazing weeks with 26 amazing artists, bands from all over the Northeast. It's been a privilege to actually be speaking to everybody. I think we are honored to have been we're one of the first to ever do something like this with musicians and to give independent artists a platform to talk about their stuff, like everyone,
their struggles and like everything that they're about, basically to just show people that behind everything else, behind the music also basically is a whole lot of other things that people don't get to see.
And I think we've learned a lot, and everyone who's been watching has learned a lot, obviously.
And we've made friends for 26 new friends,
25 new friends, because this is an old one, these guys. So welcome to On That Note again. This is the 26th episode. It's gonna be the final one with the guests on the 27th, which is the next episode. We'll be doing a review of the whole show, so stick around for that. That'll be nice. But today's guest is actually someone very familiar.
How are you feeling about today's guest, Greg?
I'm a bit conflicted because I'm on both sides of the show right now. But we've done something like this similar with Blue Temptation, but that was Reborn and Jeff doing that episode, so that was different. But today it's kind of different
because it's fun as well, because it's like an inside perspective also. So lots of stories, lots of it's like fact checked. Everything will be fact checked, right? So it's good. And this next band as well, I think anyone who is in India or is involved in any scene within India will know of this band, or will know this band personally, or at least will know their primary songwriter personally. It's and I think I wouldn't be off at all by saying that this band has represented Shillong and what we stand for musically, or the sonics of Shillong, better than anyone in the last in the last few years, I think. And we're honored. You must be way honored. This must be nothing for you, but you must also still be honored,
I'm honored
to join that family. And even me as a collaborator or just as friends, it's an honor, because I learned so much still. And the primary songwriter for the band is the man with a whole lot of stories. And just the other night, I learned something about this brilliant story about I can't remember the thing, but bamboo basically, and how it's a cycle, and it's a wonderful thing. So later on, you're probably gonna hear more about it.
This is a very awkward one for me, because I'm in the band. So let me do the introduction, I guess. Please welcome, without further ado, Summersalt.
Thank you. Thank you, Greg.
Welcome to On That Note.
How's it been?
It's been a crazy journey so far. 25 bands have been here before you guys, before us. But
learning 25 different situations, learning about 25 different situations, and also seeing the similarities in all of them.
We've waited a long time to have a Summersalt show, and we were quite skeptical, because obviously I'm Summersalt's guitarist for everyone watching, and this is gonna be a little bit awkward for me to be on this side of the screen when I should obviously be on the other side of the screen with everybody. But we thought this would be the perfect way to end on that note, to speak about I don't feel like boasting, but like I think we're probably one of the bigger bands that has been in the Northeast for a long time, and serves us right to be ending this show and to be the final guest on the show. And I think to come with some inside perspective as well. I mean, for myself to be a part of the band. So Daryl's gonna be he's gonna be doing more of the questioning.
I'm just gonna listen to Pocket like answer questions, man. That's about it. There is knowledge and lessons in.
You know what, guys? Thank you very much. I know you've been a bit patient with us because we were supposed to do this some weeks back, or months back, but busy schedules as usual. And Summersalt is, despite the pandemic, I think Summersalt has been blessed with some very meaningful opportunities. So with that, it's very interesting to also see Greg, and if there's a word conflict of interest, which there is, I mean,
it's a huge conflict of interest.
Greg is right there at the epicenter of that conflict, So, but anyways, I think it's a virtual world, I think people and the fans will be more than willing to accept this interface. So what's the first question? I mean, I've got...
let me do that. First question is, so obviously for everyone watching and who doesn't know, I was not the founding member of Summersalt. I came in... I came in a little later, but like these guys, Paket, Kongsok, Guit, were the founding members of Summersalt. They've been there since the beginning. And I would like to ask this question because obviously I don't think I've asked you guys this, but how did everything started and why did everything, had to revolve around music? Why music? And also, how did everything start?
Well, there's so much to say, but I guess Summersalt start with a note of purposefulness into the music, right? And so what we wanted to do is it's not that we tried so hard to do it, but we were sort of led to think that maybe we can do this together, So in that way, it was very organic. I had just come back from my previous jobs, in different places in India, coming back to Shillong. And then one day I saw, Ador, and who's not here, unfortunately, and Weed, and I also saw Na, who's unfortunately not here with us anymore. So when I saw the magic of the Dultara, right, and when I saw the potentiality or the kind of music that they played, so I thought, something substantial could actually come out from this, right? So I was in that rat race world, a bit corporate and with a bit of corporate experience. So I had in mind, why don't we do this, bring more management into the band and to the music, and bring more, national interface and all of that. But of course, we did not know what we wanted to do. So we just continue to meet with each other. And then, we had another bass player called Arshan Bor Lingdo. He is not playing with us anymore because of his other priorities in life. So, together we started to write songs. I started to pen down, a few more songs, which we were just scratching, really. We were not in a position to actually know where we were going, So, and what is also interesting is that the fact that we spent about 3 to 4 months just talking. We didn't even touch the musical instrument. And not that we plan to do that. It's like, okay, let's just talk for the next 4 months, and then we'll touch the musical instruments. But then we got into this idea of, and realizing the need of all of us being on the same page as far as meaning and purpose of the band is concerned.
I would say that I became a fan first before I became a member of the band, obviously. And when I saw you guys, like, I remember with Rafael and everything, like, you know, it was already this really tight band, and you could make out that it was a band with a purpose, probably a band that has done a lot of work behind the scenes to be in that position. And that's one thing that I felt was very easy to, you know, to adapt actually. I mean, when I first came in around 2015, that would be around the time when I came in, I think. And it was quite like, it wasn't difficult to be, you know, the guitarist of this band, you know. So I would say, like, also it is good for the music that Kongsuk was there, because I think Kamai Ia Ka Hok and all of those songs were already there from that time, and people would be talking about these songs, like we'd be hearing about them, but you know, there was nothing on record as yet, which leads me to the first album and how that came about and the songs there. Let's talk about the first album and how that happened.
Talking about the album, I think there's so much again to talk about, because we believe in 11 songs. I don't know why number 11, but I think this has 11 songs, but there is a short version of Pyrta Shnong as well. So we came out with this album, I think in 2016, in the month of November. And I just had an operation, so I wasn't even to walk straight. But I remember we had to postpone the release of the album. But then the 11 songs, was very experimental. There were 3-4 songs from there that we withstood the test of times and really gathered momentum. So, and Kamai Ia Ka Hok, Pyrta Shnong, Prakhat Kokon, and City Secrets, which is one of the finest English songs that we've ever written, and of course Jinged. So most of our Khasi songs, somehow they come up front, you know. So yes, we did this in Revolve Studio, and thanks to him. And we took too much time actually to produce the album because of various reasons. You know, all of us had some things to do. So yes, it was very experimental, and it was in a way a documentation of our work.
Right.
Hi guys, it's good to be here. To be honest, it's really difficult for me at this point to really speak, because I've just undergone a minor operation regarding my tonsils, so I really couldn't speak that much. But just to highlight on the album, the first album that we did, it was really an experience, because it took a lot of time for us actually to really get it done. But the whole experience has taught us a lot. It has been quite an experience for all of us, and for me personally, it has really taught me a lot. So I hope it has taught everyone of us also a lot of lessons. And Greg, I hope, and I think it has taught you a lot of lessons also, even if you are playing only just 4 songs.
Actually, you played 8 songs.
Played 8 songs,
8 songs.
What? 8 songs?
Yeah,
you played 8 songs.
Jeez, Greg, wait a.
I tell you, that's why I said, he's at the epicenter of the conflict of interest. And this whole politics of relationship is messing this
hat of like not knowing what is the case, like, right? I mean, I can't just know everything. I have to be like, wait.
But all this in writing, huh? All of this is in writing, by the way. That's the album.
First album, and everyone, it's on Spotify. Links will be down here. You can check that out.
Self-titled,
Summersalt.
So just check it out.
And one of the songs from their Pyrta Shnong was actually a song that was later on picked up by the producers of the film series Rock On, and that was something that really shot us up. Like I think
I will ask
in every sense. Yes, please.
Okay, since this is the time when you are already
I'm here
a part, right?
Yeah.
So okay, you guys as well to have your song. Basically, Pyrta Shnong, it's an explanation of what the Khasis do, or what, like, it's very specific to us, right? And it's an explanation of that. And then to have that picked up by something as big as Bollywood, right? For a movie as big as Rock On, right? How did that feel? First of all, as songwriters, secondly as performers, because I know if that happened to one of my songs, validation would be like, oh my gosh, I don't think I know how to approach it or how to deal with it in a way, so tell us about Rock On. How did that feel? How did, like, all of it, the whole experience, how did that feel?
It's really a huge thing for Summersalt, I feel. It almost like came, in a very impromptu way, wasn't it? I mean, it just, we just met, they just liked it, and things started rolling, and it was a very fast thing that we did. For me, it was really, really a great experience. And besides that, I learned so much, meeting different kinds of people while recording, meeting all people like, Shankar, Ehsaan and Loy, and having met Javed Akhtarji there in the studio itself, who he came and he sat there and he translated our song from Khasi to Hindi. I mean, that was something that is so priceless and so invaluable. Experience is something that is so valuable to Summersalt as a band, and most of all, it was such a great experience. It was, for me, it's a very humbling experience to see such great personalities like that, but so humble.
And then, of course, that was the first time we met with Farhan, and we have those pictures which, is very memorable to us.
Yeah.
And then, one thing led to the other, and then after a few hours, then we had, Javed Akhtar, and then Farhan's dad, and he sat with me, and then I ran, through this like 4 verses of the song, Pyrta Shnong, and then he translated, the Khasi version into Hindi. So there was a Khasi version, there was an English version, so that he could understand the context.
Yeah.
And then he took that, to a different level where he translated into Hindi. So it was a humbling experience indeed. And lo and behold, the next day there was Usha Uthup, and we did not know that this was just part of the plan. So one thing after the other, we got the chance to actually teach a Hindi song to
Usha Uthup, right?
Usha ji. And
damn.
That was
and this
written
was
by Javed Akhtar.
Right, exactly. Like, okay. Just like stop you a little bit. I mean, to me that just seems like, whoa. Like, how do I process this, man? I didn't get an update yet to process this.
But that's the thing, right? Like, I remember when we were in the studio, we did not feel this. We did not feel
this
like we were in the midst of these guys are legendary.
Yeah,
Shankar, Ehsaan, Loy probably changed the music landscape of the Bollywood with Dil Chahta Hai, which was, I remember the songs from there changed what music would sound like in the next 20 years, 30 years. And it was all Shankar, Ehsaan, Loy, But it didn't feel like we were with these guys. Like, they made us feel so comfortable. And I remember even teaching everyone the song wasn't, it was quite easy. It was very easy. And you think about it now, it does feel like, whoa,
right,
All right. Well, so this brings us to obviously the second album.
Yeah.
So while doing all of this, while taking all of these jobs and shows and everything, all of the songs were being written, because every time we meet, we write
something.
And every time something comes up that it sticks. And yeah, some songs probably don't, some songs go down the trash also, but yeah, that happens. That's a process. So yeah, so around that time we ended up writing around 10-12 songs, which we took. This brings us back to Mumbai, to Yash Raj.
Yeah, this had to be like different, no?
Yeah,
because it's not just recording one song in like a studio like Yash Raj with like everything proper and stuff like that, but it's like 12 songs, that has to be a little bit more nerve-wracking.
So yes, our second album is something that we are so looking forward, right? We did the recording in the month of January last year, 2020, just close enough to the start of the pandemic. In that way we were very timely, and we believe all of this is planned, because pandemic came, and then in the month of May, 11th of May, Na passed away. Na, our bass guitarist, passed away, but before all of that happened, we were able to complete the album, at least as far as capturing and recording is concerned. So I know Weed has some fond memories, and Sukh has equally, fond memories of the recording process and the 9 days that we spent, in Yash Raj Studio. So I don't know what you want to share.
Well, to just go back to what Rock On 2 has taught us, because we did the recording there. So that time, the experience there when we did the Rock On, the song for Rock On 2, it has taught us a lot, because just to know the ambience of the studio, just to know the equipment of the studio, just to know, the whole place of that studio, it's really a lesson for us to bring back all the lessons that we've learned back there to the recording that we did last year in January for the album. So I think it's all about learning. Life is about learning, and I think music has also been one part that has taught me personally, and I think every one of us in the band, through all these events that we meet in our in this career of us through music. And I think the whole experience that we had last January was really different, and it was really exciting for us.
Also, I would like to big shout out to Ashish Saha, who did most of the stuff for us there. I think Ashish is a champion here. He sorted everything out, and all we had to do was just reach Bombay, and he sorted everything out, book our hotels, was doing all the cab rides, came to pick us up from the airport, all that kind of stuff.
What a guy.
He shot everything, he documented everything. And yeah, so Ashish Saha,
what a guy,
bought dinner for us every night and all that stuff. Yeah,
he never does that for us, man.
Yeah, I know. He travels Blue Temptation too, but yeah, he does very less. Anyways, that's one thing. And also the third thing for me would be working with Shantanu. I think that sort of fulfilled something for us, because we were supposed to be working with Shantanu on Rock On.
Right.
But unfortunately, at that time, his father was not well and he wasn't available to be there with us. So it was sort of like a fulfilled kind of... Because I think Bakit actually met Shantanu at the screening of Rock On. And it was then that Shantanu told Bakit, if you guys want to record and ever, just give me a call and to come to Yash Raj. And we have wanted to be recording in Yash Raj, for a while, and we had to make that happen. This also comes back to that point where we were talking about all the side hustles helping. So let me just say that the budget for an album in another city, in a studio as huge as Yash Raj is huge.
Insane.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And
it's a bomb. I mean, I don't think we can afford to go there again.
I think the most beautiful part though was the fact that even though there was all of these like factors, that made this very important, I think we went in with very much, that comfort and that ease. And I think it comes from, knowing each other well. We've played with each other so many times. So it was so easy. And yeah, that's one thing that makes me miss Na also is the fact that we wrote all these songs with Na. Yeah. And that sometimes always comes back because obviously to not have him with us anymore, it brings a totally different dynamic, for a bass player. Yeah. And I am so used to, like, for me, a rhythm section has to be a tight one, and Wheat and Nat have always locked in. Obviously, there was never a question about that, and it was all it did feel like a vacancy, when he left us. And I remember when we played shows after that with different bass players, like, I have huge respect for everyone who came in to play bass, Pinchai and everybody, but damn, you miss Nat, like, yeah. So yeah, these presence, these are the things, from that session, and everyone should be looking forward to this album. It's gonna come out very, very soon. It's being mixed right now, and I think it's gonna be done in a few.
Yeah, it's gonna be done soon enough.
I'm not a musician, so for me, it's the pressure is more on me singing. I knew that Yash Raj is a very expensive studio, and I also understand that time is money there. So I had a lot of for myself. I had this kind of pressure where I didn't want to screw up things by screwing up the vocals. I was very apprehensive about that. I told myself, I cannot make mistakes. You cannot keep making mistakes and delaying everybody because of your vocals. This, that. Yeah. So I had that kind of personal pressure on myself, and then. Besides that, I think I took the children along. So I also had this music, I had Hila and Hashwa there, and, I had to also take care of them. So things like that, has happened. But at the end of the day, at the end of it all,
They were 10 and 8, right?
Yeah, they were younger then, So, but then they were very, thank God, really, they were very, very low maintenance. No fuss, no nothing. They went with it.
Yeah, you guys are very lucky to have cooperative children. I think a lot of children would probably get bored, to just sit in the studio for 6-7 hours without. Yeah.
Giving everybody must have number.
Yeah.
So but at the end of the day, I just felt, like we really finished everything bang on target. In fact, a little before targeted time. And I was, sort of rejoicing in my heart, because I felt, well, we did it. It felt like we were, these tiny people, but with a big sound,
Right.
But at the end of the day, and that's something that was, that sense of accomplishment was for me. So that's what I wanted to tell.
I mean, there was so much pressure because we needed to do 11 songs in 9 days. So we were doing 2 songs per day. And then there were these songs that we thought that it was going to be tough. But of course, I think on the 8th day, then I realized we were reaching tipping point, We just needed to be aware of our mental capacity and our physical capacity. So that's the time where, we gathered, and then we spoke to each other. And I started by saying that this is the time where, it's very sensitive to every one of us. So we have to therefore be mindful of the words that we use, of the expressions that to people and to each other, so that those nitty-gritty, cannot be wrongly interpreted by the other person, So we just have to be more sensitive to each other's emotions, in other words. And after we had that 5 to 10 minute session, it was super important for us to have that. That's where we came out from that eating place and got back to the studio, and then finish off everything on time, So those were lessons that I've learned, and as a band, I think we've learned, thanks to Shantanu and thanks to Abhijit and Abhishek, and thanks to Mansi, thanks to Abhishek, and of course, thanks to Chief Shantanu, who, they were with us and all the way. And I think we really look forward to some great response from the fans. So
All right, so this brings us to a performance video. Yeah, it's a good time to hear some music. We've been talking so much this whole time.
So, Greg and the guys, what are you gonna play for us? What will you be singing?
Well, I think unanimously we want to play the music that we did for Na. This is one of the songs that was featured in our tribute to Na that we did last year. That was on the 29th of June, which was his birthday. He passed away on the 11th of May, and we did this on the 29th of June. So in a way, it was easier for us to bounce back because of spiritual clarity that we have mostly in all of us. So Survive is a song that I never thought, I would write a song like that, number one. And whenever I write a song, and I know exactly why I write the song for, but in this case, I did not know why I wrote the song. And that lingered for years together until Na passed away. And then I realized this song is just befitting of the person that was, and the musician and the disciplined, artist that he was. Right. So Summersalt would like to give all of our fans out there Survive.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Summersalt with Survive.
I will survive. I choose to survive. As I sing the song gives me life. I will break free. Yes, I will rise from the debris of despair to a life beyond compare. I hope I'll get there. I wanna stay in the place where I can shine. Don't get me wrong, my Valentine. I like to think I'm okay with all the scars in my soul. Wait and see till I get there. I think I'll need all the prayers that I could get. Yearning for those meaningful moments in time, those little moments that can eclipse life. I found myself back on that path to salvation. It's narrow, I can't walk alone, but you handhold me. It's love, obviously. Afraid, we'll not be afraid, 'cause we're not of our own, and you are not alone. We choose to stand our ground to survive, to live like everybody's watching when God only knows to go when the call says go. We choose to believe that truth will never fail. Skeptics politics aside, we have the will to prevail. These clouds will wither away. We'll see the giver of life. Tomorrow is sure to come soon. Or this could be our last afternoon. Or can we meet again? Yearning for those meaningful moments in time. Those little moments that can eclipse life. I found myself back on that path to salvation. It's narrow, I cannot walk alone, but you handhold me. It's love, obviously.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Summersalt with Survive.
That was Survive.
That was you.
Yes, and I'm sitting right here again.
Look at him. He changed shirts and outfits so quickly. My God, like, wow. Guys, you all must do this like professionally.
That was one of the heaviest performances I've ever been a part of, just because of the dynamics of the whole situation and why we did that show, and on that day, on his birthday, and to have everyone who cannot see on screen, at the back on the set there were the family and of close friends were there. So it was a moment in the night to celebrate Na's life, obviously, and his contributions to music, and I think he deserves that a lot. And God bless his soul wherever he is, and we hope he keeps giving us blessings as well, so we can keep doing what we're doing. And
they're pouring, man. They're pouring with all of these things that are happening.
All right, well, I guess with that we should wrap it up, right? Thank you so much for coming, being. I'm also here.
Thank you, Greg.
I was waiting for that.
So thank you.
Well, this has been a night.
Before you update news, you know what? I think you guys have done a fantastic job on that note with Daryll and Greg. And the Northeast today, give it up. More shows like this. I don't know, in this format or different format. But there's so much of joy for people to have watched your shows, and especially for the budding musicians to have had the chance and the opportunity to know the nitty-gritty and the details and the behind the scenes of what these bands are all about, because what you see on stage is what you see on stage, but behind the scene and behind the stage, there's so much going on. Like, you guys have been able to sort of unearth all of that, and then it helps everybody, I guess, to make sense of the music industry and what the band is. So thank you very much. You've done a great job.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that brings us to the end. Before we all go, let's just tell everyone what our future plans are and what do we have in store.
What do you have in store for the future? Besides the second album that's coming out, obviously.
Well, the second album is the only thing we have in store.
I think as we were working in the album and as we were waiting the last year and earlier this year, 2021, I think live has led us to a position where we can't sit idle, So we've been able to do more than 5 or 6 projects, and in fact, up our alley, we have another 2 or 3 call songs or theme songs and a few other projects, possibly people taking us as mentors and hand-holding budding musicians, which again, that would be very meaningful. So those are the things that, as far as our eyes can see, we don't know what's going to happen this year. And I think we just exercise, wisdom and looking forward to obviously the second album, which will be, another cornerstone of Summersalt's contribution to the music world. So with that said, I think it'll take some time for us to release our first song of the album. So I will not tell you, and don't ask me to define what that sometime means, because it may mean soon enough. But yes, we will definitely keep our fans, informed about the way we want to release these songs. Thanks again for this wonderful opportunity, Daryll and Greg with us, and so we'll have to call it a day, I guess. Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, go check out Summersalt. Check these guys out. Links are there. They're always there somewhere. So check them out. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. These guys are there. They're active on all of them.
Yes.
So hit them up and check out the music. Right.
Yeah, and that brings us to the end. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kongsok, Bucket, and Weed for coming out and speaking on behalf of Summersalt and on behalf of Summersalt. Yeah. Well, that was it. That was On That Note with Daryll and Greg
and Summersalt.
Thank you.